Good evening and welcome to our special election coverage tonight. WDHN is your election headquarters. I'm Joseph Sims. More than 35 state and local elections happening tonight with the polls closed and results in. Tonight, one of the biggest local elections on the ballot, Houston County Commission Chairman. It was the incumbent Brandon Shoup and the challenger John Rogers. WDHN calling this race for Brandon Shoup. He will keep his chairmanship on the Houston County Commission. Now, moving to another one that a lot of people had their eyes on. We will have a new senator in Alabama, and Wiregrass native Barry Moore getting the president's endorsement in this race. And it showed. Barry Moore leading by 63,000 votes over former Attorney General Steve Marshall. He was running for Senator. Barry Moore, Wiregrass representative in the U.S. House. He runs for senator, and Barry Moore just got done speaking at his watch party, and he said that if you looked at the polls when they first announced that they were running, Moore was at the back of the list. Marshall was the clear leader. But after the president's endorsement back in January, Moore's campaign has shot up, and now you see that tonight with 41% of the vote. As it stands now, this would be a runoff between Marshall and Moore. But again, Moore speaking at his watch party, and he's talked about his faith and how that has guided him to this moment now. Take a listen.
Psalms 119:105 says, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." And what I tell people is that a lamp just doesn't give you a whole lot of light. It's not like you got a high beam looking way where the Lord's going to take you, but you take that next step in faith. And this was a walk in faith for us and our team and our family. And I'll tell you this, we serve a faithful God. God bless you guys. Thank you all. Stay and enjoy the night, and we'll see you as a U.S. Senator soon.
That was on the Republican side. If we go down to the Democratic side for that Senate race, it's Everett West in the lead right now. WDHN cannot call this race right now. Dakari Lorette is also there on the second place finish. So if it stands like this as it moves forward, only 67% of the vote in, then there would be a runoff as well. Let's go to the governor's race now. On the Republican side, WDHN calling this race for Senator Tommy Tuberville. He wins the GOP nomination over Ken McFeeters. No surprise there. On the Democratic side, again, no surprise. Doug Jones, the former U.S. Senator for Alabama, getting the nomination on the Democratic side. Doug Jones and Tommy Tuberville already gone head-to-head once. It was Tommy Tuberville that took Doug Jones' seat in the Senate. Now they'll have a statewide race again, this time for governor. As for lieutenant governor on the GOP side, we go to that and we'll show you the numbers. This is also on the Democratic side for governor for there, Chadwick Martin, a Wiregrass representative or a Wiregrass native, getting a couple votes there. On the lieutenant governor side for GOP, John Wall was down in this race for the majority of the polling coming in. Wes Allen was in the lead, but John Wall has the president's endorsement. He has slowly built a lead now by over 12,000 votes. If this were to end right now with only 54% of the vote in, this would go to a runoff. On the on the next part of this Republican GOP nomination, this is the next three people running for GOP lieutenant governor primary. They will not be a part of that runoff if there is one. For the Democratic side on the lieutenant governor's race, just two people. WDHN calling this one for Philip Ensler. So if that does head to a runoff on the GOP side between John Wall and Wes Allen, they would be going to battle Philip Ensler in November. Runoffs would be June 16th. All right, Alabama Attorney General. For the Republicans, there it is. Catherine Robertson in the lead over Jay Mitchell. This would be to replace Steve Marshall, who is running for Senate. Catherine Robertson in the lead, Jay Mitchell there with 34%, Pamela Casey with 24%. Again, only 53% in. This would, again, head to a runoff right now, and that would be June 16th. Let's move back to some local races here in the Wiregrass in Houston County. The commission could have some new faces, and let's just go ahead and show you what we have here. Commissioner District 1, Jeffrey Williams. We're calling that race for Williams over Bobby Lewis for the GOP side. This is an interesting race just because of the fact that this has a GOP challenger and a Democratic Democratic challenger. So this would be the only local Wiregrass race where there would be indefinitely a general election in November. Let's look at it on the Democratic side. This is for District 1. Letitia Daniels Jackson, WDHN calling it for her. She would beat out the incumbent here, Curtis Harvey, and she would go on to face the GOP challenger there in November. So that would be the only election here in the Wiregrass that we have a general election needed in November. All the other races tonight will be decided tonight, or a runoff would decide it on June 16th. As, for example, like in Houston County Commission District 3, this would be decided tonight. And that would be Ashley Enfinger. So that is called here at WDHN. There would be no general election needed just because there's no Democratic challenger and there is no runoff needed. Houston County Revenues Commissioner, this is another one that we can go ahead and say that Greg Holland is the Revenue Commissioner for Houston County, WDHN calling that one. Just like we can call Houston County Coroner tonight, Robert Byrd for Houston County deciding not to run for re-election, and WDHN is calling this race for Kendall Glover over Tony Diaz. Kendall Glover is the new Houston County Coroner. For Houston County Board of Education District 2, we are not calling this race just yet. Scott Long in the lead at 50%. Ricky Moore there at 34%. Ricky Moore previously held this position, lost it, running again. Could be a runoff, just 75% in. Very low lead there, 181 votes for Scott Long. So we could see a runoff that could decide the Board of Education District Commissioner for District 2. Coffee County Sheriff Scott Byrd is going to be the winner in Coffee County. Let's go to breaking news in Geneva County. A new sheriff will not be decided after an independent entered his name in the race at the last minute. Now, in this race to replace Tony Helms as the Geneva County Sheriff, David Hall was expected to be crowned the winner without needing the general election later in November. We would call this for David Hall, and he would be the new sheriff for Geneva County. However, an independent entered the race at the last minute, Perez Bruner. If officials determine his candidacy to be legit, then Hall will face Bruner in November instead of being elected as sheriff tonight. This is developing right now. Not many people knew that Perez Bruner was running as an independent. Apparently, it so happened to be such a last-minute decision that now David Hall will have to face off against Perez Bruner if it is determined that his candidacy is legit, that all the signatures he needs to put in for a candidacy run would be legit. Then David Hall and Perez Bruner would face off in the general election in November. But for now, David Hall, we can call him the winner of the GOP primary for Geneva County Sheriff to replace Tony Helms. And now in Geneva County, staying there, Commissioner for District 1, we're calling that for Brian Hatton over Kevin Watson. That race is called. Henry County now, Commissioner District 2. We are not calling this race just yet, though we are 90% in. Ashley Clements leading this one by 369 votes. She has 548. 55% to 18% of Charlize Money. Not calling that just yet for Henry County Commissioner District 2. Henry County Commissioner District 3 and Henry County for the GOP primary. Also not calling this one. Randy Cutchum, Jason Hudspeth, Doug Goodlin, and Sean Hatfield. Not calling that 90% in, though. Not totally done. 10% left of the vote to count, and then we'll see where this stands. Could head to a runoff there with 4 candidates. Going to Henry County Board of Education Commissioner District 2. Not calling this one just yet here at WDHN. Tyrone Watson and Micah Johnson. This would not head to a runoff. There will be a decided winner once all votes are counted. Still 10% of the voting needs to be counted, but because there's only 2 people, cannot head to a runoff. All right, here in the Wiregrass, 2 state representative seats are up for grabs in Geneva and here in Dothan. Let's get into that for State Representative District 85. WDHN calling this race for the incumbent Donnie Chasteen. He will keep his seat in the in the Alabama Senate. So he will keep his seat. The incumbent winning there, and Donnie Chasteen representing Geneva in the Alabama Senate, and for Dothan in the Alabama Senate. Moving over to that, we will see District 85 Rick Ream, David Money up against each other. Rick Ream, the incumbent, WDHN not calling this race just yet, though Rick Ream does lead 56% to David Money's 44%. Still, a little less than 50% of the vote needs to be counted. We'll see where that stands as we move forward. Again, all of this is on our website at WDHN.com. Moving over to some state races, Alabama Secretary of State Caroline Dobson is going to be called the winner here at WDHN for Secretary of State. She ran for U.S. House here in Alabama for District 2. She lost to Shamari Figures. That is a race that she lost, and now she comes and runs for Secretary of State for the GOP side, and that is going to be declared winner here tonight with 61% of the vote in. For Alabama Treasurer, some of you might like this name, Young Boozer will be declared the winner here at WDHN over Steve Lolly. Alabama Auditor for GOP, this will be declared the winner either tonight, and that is in fact the case. Andrew Sorrell will win Auditor for Alabama. Ag Commissioner Rick Pate used to be the Ag Commissioner. He decided to run for Senator, and now his replacement, not decided tonight, Corey Hill. Christina McInnes up for grabs for it, not deciding that, could head to a runoff June 16th. Statewide amendments. This amendment proposes a change expanding the list of offenses for which a judge may deny bail. Amendment 1 allows judges to deny bail for additional serious offenses, including solicitation, attempt, or conspiracy to commit murder and shooting into an occupied dwelling. Alabama has voted yes on that, essentially expanding Aniah's law. Another statewide amendment, Alabama Amendment 2, proposes to prohibit any reduction in a district attorney's salary during their 6-year term of office. Alabama saying yes, we do, we want that. So that is one that is going to pass. Houston County Commissioner District 2, this is one that we're getting now, an update there for you. Tracy Adams and Chris Love against each other. That could head to a runoff June 16th. Trust me, we're still heading into covering many more elections for you with primary elections happening around the country.